Viewers, good evening. You're with Times Now, India's election news headquarters. We have our experts as usual to decode the projections. Anil Vij is also joining us. Needs no introduction. Anil Vij साहब, आपका बहुत स्वागत है टाइम्स नाउ पे. जो नंबर आ रहे हैं एग्जिट पोल के, कैसे देखते हैं?
नहीं, देखिए, मुझको समझ नहीं आता कि ऐसा कौन सा तंत्र है. अभी तक तो पूरी परसेंटेज नहीं आई. अभी तक तो मतदाता लाइन में लगे हुए हैं अपनी वोट डालने के लिए. तो एग्जिट पोल निकालने का ऐसा कौन सा तंत्र है? मुझे
ये तंत्र बहुत पुराना है.
हाँ,
ये तंत्र
हरियाणा की स्थिति को सारी को देखकर
ये तंत्र तो बहुत पुराना है अनिल विज साहब. लेकिन ठीक है, प्रोजेक्शन मैं नंबर्स पढ़ देता हूं आपको. अभी के जो आंकड़े हैं उसके हिसाब से 55 सीटें मिल रही हैं कांग्रेस को, बीजेपी को करीब 26-27 के रेंज में है.
देखिए, जो हरियाणा की स्थिति को मैंने बड़ा क्लोजली देखा है, उसके हिसाब से ये आंकड़े ठीक नहीं है. उसके हिसाब से बीजेपी की सरकार बनेगी 8 तारीख को. अब एग्जिट पोल की पोल तो कई बार खुल चुकी है. अभी लोकसभा के चुनाव में खुली थी. तंत्र तो वही है ना, कोई नया तंत्र तो बना नहीं है.
लोकसभा के चुनाव में तो ऐसा नहीं हुआ था अनिल विज साहब. लेकिन कोई बात नहीं, मैं समझता हूं. आपको थैंक यू करने से पहले मैं एक आखिरी सवाल पूछता हूं. नंबर के हिसाब से पूछ रहा हूं, देखिए गुस्सा मत होइएगा. कांग्रेस की सरकार ऐसा लग रही है बनेगी. मुख्यमंत्री क्या लगता है आपको कौन बनेगा?
कांग्रेस की सरकार ही नहीं बनेगी तो मुख्यमंत्री का कैसे अंदाजा लगाया जा सकता?
ठीक है. Anil Vij, thank you for joining us on Times Now. Thank you for speaking to us. Let's quickly open this up. Let's quickly talk about Jammu and Kashmir. Anil Vij there, very confident of BJP's victory against what the exit poll numbers are. Let's look at the poll of polls of Jammu and Kashmir. 46 for the Jammu and Kashmir National Conference Plus, which is Congress and the JKNC. 28 for the BJP, PDP at 9 and others 7. Dr. Ranganathan, how do you see these numbers?
I think the poll of polls, to be honest, is a fair reflection of where Jammu and Kashmir is right now. Of course, you have these unnatural alliances. In this case, I would say it's not really unnatural because Congress and National Conference are both extremely divisive as far as their communal politics is concerned in Jammu and Kashmir. That said, would Congress be okay with National Conference still demanding the overturning of the 370 abrogation? They haven't yet come out clearly what their stand is.
Sanjay Jha, will the Congress be okay with it? Quick answer.
He can't be heard.
I think you're on mute, sir.
So let me tell Dr. Ranganathan, who spoke before me, that the number of seats for Jammu has gone up after the delimitation exercise to 43. And if the BJP is getting 28 out of there, the message is to the BJP that is politics of polarization, my dear friend, is finished, it's over.
That's not the question, Mr. Jha. You keep coming back to the same point. I asked you a straightforward question. Is the Congress okay with this idea of the National Conference to on Article 370? The stand is now part of the manifesto.
Well, the Congress party, again, just because there is an attempt by some people to try and provoke a conversation, I'm repeating that the charge is fallacious and preposterous because the party that has played divisive role of divide and rule in India, particularly in JMK, has been the BJP. The BJP has used Jammu and Kashmir.
You said the same thing about Haryana. It's the same. It's the same thing in JNK.
Jammu and Kashmir, it is a very significant election because after a decade, people are getting a chance to just be represented. So let's be very clear, because I know the Valley, and that's where I don't know Jammu so well. Valley people are voting against the BJP. They're voting against the center.
I asked him that question, Sabha, because in his previous response, he was talking about the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, by the way, has also upheld.
This is a significant election.
Did the Valley ever vote for the BJP?
So there's
No,
nothing.
I'm
The second
making a point
about
here.
has to explain who is communal. Is it the BJP
Okay.
and instigation of the BJP that tens of
No, do we
thousands
have
of
to
people
remain
have
on
come
the-
out in support
can
of a
we
terrorist?
not-
Sabha, one second.
People there were not
One second,
represented.
one second,
Let's
Sabha, please,
at least
please.
give them 5 minutes
give
of
you
voice
time.
on this
Yes,
channel.
Don't,
No,
People
of course.
there were
don't
not
harangue
represented.
Sabha, please. You will get
Yeah.
your chance. Please wait for it.
No, I was
Is it
getting my chance. You cut me, Anand.
Okay,
but please
finish your
take the
finish
stage.
your
No,
argument.
carry on, yaar.
No, ma'am,
I was
finish
just trying to
it. Yeah.
speak up for people in the valley have gone out and voted. It was a traumatic time for them. You may have celebrated. Many of them were put under house arrest. Journalists were locked up. They failed all sorts of cases. People have faced, newspapers have shut down. Please understand what the valley has undergone in terms of freedom.
There have been elections in
Now-
the valley. There have
But-
been elections in the valley. There was 2019 Lok Sabha election. There was 2024 Lok
That's
Sabha
not
elections.
enough. But
There
not
were
for their own
panchayat
government.
elections.
They're
There were
ruled by an
assembly
LG.
elections. There were local bodies
I
elections.
do not believe that
they
some
have
people do not
representations.
deserve to represent themselves.
That's not the
I
question.
do not buy that argument.
But that's
Sushil
not the
Pandit.
question, Sabhaji.
so-
Can I
Yes.
come back to the thing? You see, when you talk of
So they have
communalization and
voted in a way which is not going to please,
Yeah.
and no one there will align with
Okay.
the BJP. I will repeat that.
No, when did
you
they
know?
align with the BJP?
No,
Yeah,
it
Mr.
has been
Pandit
said
also
here.
Dr.
It has been
Ranganathan
said
Pandit.
here
Yes.
that NC and
Let's
PDP
not talk
are
over
having
each other, ma'am.
backroom
Please,
deals.
we're all equally
That is
represented. Yes.
rubbish. That's all I'm saying. Very clearly.
Can I please comment on
Yes,
this?
ma'am.
Right. As far as backroom talks are concerned, it is well known that both the NC and the PDP have been holding backroom talks with them for decades together. It is not new. They have been in government in the center and the state with the BJP at various times. So even the independents that you speak to say the same thing, that why are we not with either the PDP or the NC in the valley, because they have been in bed with the BJP.
Right.
At the same time, I need to say this, when you talk about trauma in Jammu and Kashmir, and especially in Kashmir, everybody knows and has covered the trauma of Kashmir. But post abrogation, what has happened out here is minus the trauma, they have been fighting the election. They have been contesting the election minus trauma. They have been voting in the election minus trauma, and the results and the government formation will be minus trauma.
And trauma, one community was whitewashed.
Can
Dr.
I just,
Anand. Yes.
if you want to talk about the real trauma that has happened, it's been whitewashed by these very people who are now going to form the government. When Kashmiri Pandits were driven out, and Sushil ji is out here, when you have the trauma for 70 years, you have 370 that is denying the rights to lakhs of Dalits, to women, to homosexuals, to Sikhs, to refugees, to Gurkhas. That is the trauma that has been addressed by 370 abrogation. And finally, when you talk about BJP polarizing, is it through the instigation and polarization of BJP that tens of thousands of Muslims have come onto the streets of the valley in support of a terrorist? Is it BJP instigating them?
Can I add one more point?
Yes, quickly.
Elections after elections after election, what is normalized in Kashmir is the expulsion of 500,000 Hindus, which are not becoming an issue in any election. We cannot vote. We are not living in those constituencies. Even our names have been expunged of the electoral rolls. And democracy is used to normalize our absence from those constituencies.
Let's ask someone who's part
fair
of
is
the
this
process.
election?
Aditya Gupta is the PDP candidate. Mr. Gupta, can you rule out that the PDP will not join hands with the BJP?
So there's a very famous Russian anecdote, the scorpion and the frog story. BJP here is in scorpion. So one of the panelists was very fair in saying that, see, you cannot be with BJP because BJP prior to abrogation had betrayed only Kashmir, but now they have betrayed Jammu also. They had the abrogation been such a hunky-dory, right now you would have been seeing 46 has to be figures as far as BJP is concerned. The whole Jammu would have voted. I just mentioned an incident prior to this. I said that, see, at the time of abrogation, Jammu celebrated. But when the judgment came in, even the BJP headquarters went silent. They knew. See, what has happened in Jammu has been that its aspiration has been completely murdered. For instance, a sentiment grew up a year back when G20 happened, tourism G20 happened in Kashmir. Jammu started yelling and crying that, see, you had 25 MLAs from BJP, from Jammu. The Jammu tourism industry needs its backing as far as G20 is concerned. You took it to Lal Chowk. What was the requirement? When you have to project Jammu's cause, you forget. You have given us aims in IIT. That was part of the.
Let's see what happens. We are under pressure to take a break. I thank all of you for joining us on time.